Welcome to SVGTV's news for Thursday, September 15th, 2022. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. Flags already being flown at half-mast as a mark of respect to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II will continue to fly until the burial of the 5 men who died as a result of the vehicular accident in Sandy Bay on September 11, 2022. Prime Minister Dr. Alf Gonsalves made the announcement yesterday while speaking on NBC Radio's face-to-face program. He also noted that 2 books of condolences are being set up for Vincentians who wish to pay extended condolences to the families of the deceased.
So that's on that. The flags which are flying at half-mast already for Her Majesty will continue to fly at half-mast also for these persons. And by the way, this morning at 10 o'clock, we have 2 condolence books. My permanent secretary has advised me that the Ministry of Ecclesiastical Affairs, that's the Ministry of Education and Ecclesiastical Affairs, at our request, to have 2 condolence books, one downstairs at the financial complex and one downstairs at the post office that persons can sign. Okay. You know? So that for us to express our our condolences and so that the families can have they can exist, that we show appreciation.
The 5, Giovanni Barker, Ishmael Bruce, Elvis Harrell, Khalil Robin, and Kenroy Haywood, all of Clare Valley, were among several who were traveling to a funeral in Sandy Bay when the accident occurred. Prime Minister Dr. Alf Gonsalves visited the families of the deceased on Tuesday, September 13th. A candlelight vigil was also held on Tuesday night at Sandy Bay for the families of the deceased. Efforts are being made here to strengthen the national security of the country in a wake of the recent spate of gun crimes. Speaking on NBC Radio's face-to-face program on Wednesday, September 14th, Prime Minister Dr. Alf Gonsalves reported that he held a meeting with the Commissioner of Police and other top officers to discuss issues of national security, though he did not divulge the new strategies the police will be implementing. He said that they will be noticeable.
We did a review as to what is being done now and what we can do different, better, and more. And there's a series of things which were decided upon. I wouldn't talk about them, Johnny P. Right. Except to say that if persons see certain things happening, they would know that it relates to what I mentioned here now.
The Prime Minister also cautioned everyone, particularly young men who are drawn to gun crimes, that there is no future in guns.
On the young males who have a fascination with guns to realize this themselves. There's no future in guns. There's future in education and training. There's future in hard and smart work. There is future in going and making an application for prime to start your business or to expand your legitimate business. If you belong to a group in a particular area of the country, a particular geographical area, or you some friendship association, or things based on girlfriends, or whatever else these associations may be based upon. One thing is certain: if you're involved in gun crimes today against somebody, the victim, you might be the aggressor today, but as sure as the sun rises, you're going to be tomorrow or the victim the day after. So there's no future in it. All you all will be doing is just killing one another. The unfortunate thing is when there is, well, every life is unfortunate loss, but the particularly unfortunate thing is that you may have occasionally innocent bystanders who get caught in crossfire. But it's a terrible thing to see young males wasting their lives away with this folly of a fascination with guns. You have to go and live in the real world. You can't live in the virtual world. Not what you see on Facebook, not what you see on Instagram, not what you see on these films. Johnny P, that's not real. That's fake. And you don't need a gun to show that it's masculine. Yes. Or its strength. You know, there's nothing cultural about you having a gun. On the contrary, it's antithetical. It is completely opposed to our heritage. We are not a violent people. We are people.
The Prime Minister noted that everyone is involved and appealed to all to be a part of the solution.
Just leave your meals, your child, and let them go and do what they want to do. You don't parent them properly. You're going to end up with a big problem. Likely. You have to watch the company your children keep. We have to have the communities peaceful. We have to have local leadership in the communities helping. The churches have to help. A lot of churches want to frighten, well, not churches, a number of pastors really, not the good ones. They want to frighten people to heaven, to tell you how you're going to get burned up in hellfire, but not talking to you in some immediate way to stay away from guns. You understand what I mean, Johnny P? And to see if we can get the young males to be doing useful things. Let them get involved in education and training, sports, ban against crime, drama, cultural activities, singing. You know, Johnny P?
Yes, Prime Minister.
And then the schools, the teachers can't give up on any single one. We have to find ways. The government itself, the police, the judges, the magistrates, all of us.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines has recorded a significant decline in the results of the 2022 May-June Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate (CSEC) examinations. The Ministry of Education released the preliminary results today following the settlements of some discrepancies with the results. The results show that SVG achieved a pass rate of 66.5% this year, down from 83.48% in 2021, which represents a decline of 16.83% in 2020. SVG achieved a pass rate of 81.86%. This year, 2,006 candidates were registered. Of these, 513 were private candidates, 1,493 were school candidates. There were 1,364 school candidates from 26 secondary schools sitting papers 1 and 2 with 9,649 subject entries in 31 subject areas. Approximately 66.55% of the subject entries were awarded grades 1 to 3. This year, 16.96% of the passes were at grade 1, 35.40% at grade 2, and 47.63% at grade 3. English A recorded a pass rate of 64.12% and mathematics a pass rate of 26.01% compared to 2019, where the pass rates were 76.08% and 33.10% respectively. The top 5 schools this year are the Girls High School, which obtained a pass rate of 96.88%, the St. Vincent Grammar School with 91%, the St. Joseph Convent Kingstown with 82.24%, Beckway Seventh-day Adventist School with 81.2%, and St. Martin's Secondary School with 80.95%. The top female performer is Chinese Harper of the Girls High School, who sat 15 subjects and obtained 15 grade 1s. The top male performer is Kenyu Child of the St. Vincent Grammar School, who sat 12 subjects and obtained 12 grade 1s. 4 students of the St. Vincent Girls High School achieved top marks. Kerry Scosia sat 14 subjects and obtained 14 grade 1s. Kaylee Douglas sat 14 subjects and obtained 14 grade 1s. Ashlyn Francis sat 14 subjects and obtained 13 grade 1s and 1 grade 2, and Anilka Kato sat 14 subjects and obtained 5 grade 1s, 8 grade 2s, and 1 grade 3. Fishers across St. Vincent and the Grenadines are expected to benefit substantially from a boost in the fleet expansion program. Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar said Cabinet has already approved the purchase of an additional 34 boats and 27 engines to prepare local fishers for the huge demand of seafood. A release from the Agency for Public Information, the API, says the government signed an agreement with Rainforest Seafood to purchase a minimum of $20 million worth of fish annually. However, the minister said this demand for seafood can reach in excess of $45 million annually. Additionally, Minister Caesar noted that his ministry is responding to a request for a $10 million proposal for further development in the agriculture and fisheries sector. Speaking in Carroll at the opening of the Georgetown and Sanssouci Sea Defense Project on September 9, 2022, the Agriculture and Fisheries Minister stated that within the last few days, they were able to draft a framework for expenditure needed for the farmers and fishers. He gave the assurance that the government continues to deliver within the sector. Local female entrepreneurs have received a much-needed financial boost amounting to over $250,000 EC by way of the Republic of China and Taiwan. Taiwan, along with the Center for Enterprise Development, the CED, implemented the Women's Empowerment Project, which sees 38 female entrepreneurs awarded grants to assist with business development. The grant award ceremony was held at the Kingstown Baptist Church today. General Manager of CET Felix Lewis notes the micro, medium, and small enterprises sector suffered a significant hit during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic and the eruption of La Soufrière volcano. He says in light of the fact that the females were more adversely affected than males, the program is both timely and beneficial.
The recent past has been a challenging period, contextualized by the COVID pandemic, the volcanic eruption in St. Vincent's case, and more recently, the global effects of the war on Ukraine. In this context, this intervention is very timely, very needed, and very appreciated. The WP project began with the first 3 cohorts in the last quarter of 2021 and is due to be completed by the end of the year 2022. To date, a total of $340,000 in grants have been disbursed to cohorts in the first cohort of the beneficiaries of the WP project. The second cohort has been significantly increased in numbers, from 27 in cohort 1 to 38 in cohort 2. The total amount of grants awarded to be awarded today is in excess of $250,000 EC. This does not include the grant amounts to be awarded to the 3 winners in the business plan competition, which would be $26,000 each. The WP program was designed to address critical capacity gaps in the female MSME sector in the management and production areas. Other components of the project address the supply side gaps in business support and financial institutions to improve the business support services and access to finance respectively.
Lewis explains the entrepreneurs received training in a number of areas so as to improve the livelihood of the long-term success. He encourages the grant recipients to use the knowledge gained to work towards the stability of their businesses.
The training that the WP project for the beneficiaries here included introduction to entrepreneurship, selecting a business idea, selling and customer service, government and your business, HR management for small business owners, and then we had the total quality management for financial institutions, which is about to be implemented, writing a business plan, record keeping, costing and pricing. The project therefore targets a weak area of the entrepreneurial ecosystem to improve sustainability, competitiveness and profitability of the targeted sector. In that way, the prospects of long-term success in business is enhanced. I wish to encourage the awardees to embrace and, more importantly, to implement the ideas, knowledge, skills and tools that were imparted in these training sessions. I want you to effectively use the grant to take your business to the next level and to build back better and smarter for sustainable success.
Meanwhile, Taiwan's ambassador to SVG, Peter Shai Leland, commended the group for advancing through the selection process. He advises the entrepreneurs to use the grant funding wisely and effectively.
As a proud sponsor of this program, I just want to be here on behalf of the people and the government of Taiwan to say that we are proud to be good friend of St. Vincent and Grenadines for the past 41 years. This is just a small testament to that, and we will continue to work with you side by side. No matter how bad the weather is, we work together hand in hand. All right? And I think one thing we have to remember, all you ladies here today, you obviously already know what you're doing. You have your own business, you have your business plan. This program is just to enhance your capabilities, and then today finally we'll be able to contribute a small angels funding, should I say, to help you further boost your business in hand. So I think, as the old saying goes, you don't give people fish, you teach them how to catch fish, right? This is exactly what this program is about.
Director of the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, the NTRC, Apollo Knights, says software development is one of the most promising options that can transform and develop a country so that it could be able to compete with various countries on a similar level. This comes as the NTRC launched its 10th annual iCode 784 competition yesterday. The competition seeks to primarily focus on the importance of idea creation and the possibilities that can develop from the seeds of innovation that are planted in the minds of the youth.
It does not require large sums of money to start a business in this era. It's what we can refer to as a knowledge-based field. You don't have to get millions to build a factory to start operating. You don't need to employ hundreds of persons to get started. You can check on the internet and see how companies like Google, Facebook, and WhatsApp got their start. And they are all software-based companies. They more or less start with a few individuals, not much cash, but then grew into some very big companies and some of the biggest in the world currently. Right, so it's the reason we are having this annual competition. We want our citizens to create more apps that are relevant for our country, but also target the needs in our Caribbean region and even globally. We also want to develop more entrepreneurs that see the needs in the market and create businesses that build software applications to meet those needs.
Knight said that one of the objectives of this competition is to see more youth gaining skills in coding and becoming entrepreneurs.
That can be an asset to them in gaining employment in general. Coding plays such a big role in so many different areas of everyday lives. As you notice, everything is more or less software-based these days. As someone says, software is eating the world. So in summary, ladies and gentlemen, we want St. Vincent and Grenadines to be not only an importer of software, but a creator and exporter of software. This iCode competition is just one part of the NTRC strategy in trying to facilitate this objective. And my second point, and some as it relates to direct and indirect benefits you can get from being part of this competition. The first one is going to help you secure a job. Right? When you finish your community college, you're applying for a one-year job before you go and study, or you're going to win the workforce. I'll just give you a little bit of real-world advice, because that's something I do. Look at applications and select persons, and you have someone, each of them having 7 ones, 8 ones. They're all the same. So how do you choose one over the next? I look at things like these, which programs they attended, extracurricular activities, summer programs, so it helps in that way. So you have a little more extra skills, interpersonal stuff, you're working with others, you can work good in teams.
Meantime, the registration period for the 2022 iCode 784 competition is now open and will end on Friday, October 7th at 4 p.m. Participating teams in the competition will have the chance to win cash prizes worth up to $5,000. In addition to cash prizes, 2 persons from the winning open category team will be traveling to Barcelona, Spain in March of 2023 to attend an event for startups hosted by the GSMA called Y4NF 4 years from now. The I-Code 784 competition comprises of 3 categories: secondary idea category, secondary mobile application category, and open category. Participants entering the secondary idea category must present an idea for a mobile application that will facilitate the implementation of new systems or improve existing systems for both private and public sectors within St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Participants entering both the secondary mobile application category and open category must present a mobile application. The competition will take place between Wednesday, September 14th and Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. All secondary school students and Vincentians under the age of 35 are eligible to enter the competition. On a mission to raise awareness and bring an end to gender-based violence in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, CARE SVG has launched a new program dubbed Orange SVG End Gender-Based Violence. Speaking with SVG-TV News, Vice President of the organization, Odinga Louis Warner, said that the new project will target the perpetrators of gender-based violence so to determine the root causes of gender-based violence.
Now, you've understand that we have been seeing a lot of violence in the last couple of months that have been very much horrendous, and it has been, most of the victims have been women. And we are not here to just talk about the victims, but we are also here to talk to the perpetrators of these heinous crimes. Orange SVG, we are targeting primarily men because we are trying to figure out what are the root causes of gender-based violence, not here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So our goals are to basically reduce stereotyping, strengthen support for persons who have been affected by gender-based violence, and raise the awareness around gender-based violence.
The organization will also work with the victims of gender-based violence to publicize their stories in an effort to bring awareness to the issue. Warner also noted that the organization has already started to raise awareness among children in schools as it relates to gender-based violence.
Orange SVG, what we have been doing thus far is that we are concentrating on the schools currently because we know that GBV can start at that early stage of our teens' lives. Sometimes it's perpetrated at home, and from seeing that, persons can relay or relive those kinds of attitude or behaviors. So we are focusing on our youths currently. So we are in the schools, and you're going to be seeing and hearing about us as we go along on our journey. We will be in communities. We will be meeting with leaders of our communities to push the awareness of gender-based violence. We need our men. We need our boys to be men. We need our women to be strong and empowered women. Because this is not a culture. This is not a part of our culture. And gender-based violence have become so normal that instead of intervening or reporting, we tend to post, record and post.
Warner further urged victims who are currently in abusive relationships to seek help from the organizations in the country that have been set up for them.
Everything is on the social media, so we are hoping to capture all our audiences using our social media platforms. We are going to be on the radios, on the televisions, wherever we can to really, have an impact, make an imprint, to let them know that gender-based violence does not belong in our society. For persons who have been affected by gender-based violence and you need somebody to talk to, you can reach out to persons at the St. Vincent Planned Parenthood Association, the Marian House, Mobilization, and there's other ministries that you can reach out to. You can contact the Planned Parenthood Association at 533-1793, or you can contact the National AIDS Program at 4512489. If you need any counseling or you just need somebody to talk to, you can just reach out to any of those that I would have made mention before.
SVG Care is located at Planned Parenthood in Kingston and deals with persons who are at risk, including persons living with HIV, men who have sexual intercourse with men, females who exchange sex, and the elderly.